Yes, you heard it right. The Geek Talks is the ultimate podcast for aspiring tech enthusiasts, where we delve into the journeys of brilliant minds who have cracked the code to some of the most coveted internships in the industry. In this gripping series, we bring you exclusive interviews of individuals who have secured remarkable internships in some of the most prestigious companies like Amazon Wow, Flipkart Grid, Microsoft Engage, and LG8 Solutions. So, are you guys excited? And guess who we have for our first episode? Our very own Stuti Didi. Yes, Stuti Agrawal is currently in her third year, and her passion for coding and problem solving has propelled her to new heights. One of her earning her accolades and recognition within the industry. One of her most prestigious achievements was winning the esteemed Code Like Ada 2022 competition, which landed her with a sought after internship with a stipend of 2.5 lakhs per month. So let's call her now. Hello, Didi.
Hi,
Welcome to the Geek Talks.
thank you.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good too. So, when everyone heard about your internship, everyone was like, what has she done? How has she done it? And what skills do we need to learn for the same? So, we thought, why not have our first Geek Talk with you only? So, let's start with the questions.
Yeah.
Um, okay, please tell about your journey of landing the internship.
Okay, so it all started like people in like second or third year get I think great opportunities nowadays. Like there are very so many tests and hackathons for getting into these internships. So I just registered for a test. I got the yeah, so I appeared in the test, and after the test, I was selected for the hackathon, and then I won the hackathon. So after that, I got this internship.
Oh, nice. That's amazing. So, what were the key factors or strategies that help you stand out during the internship application process?
Okay, so in this internship, there wasn't like an application process. It was just like you registering for the contest. But yeah, after that, you had to prepare for the hackathon because uh, the test was just about like it was coding. So and the hackathon was based on web development. So they are completely two different things. So you need to prepare for both of them. Like at the same time, you cannot leave any one of them. Both are equally important. So yeah, so you have to prepare for both.
It was an offline hackathon.
Yeah, so the test was online, the first one which was conducted. It was a all girls one. So the test was online, and from that they selected the top 10 girls from the for the hackathon, and for that they sponsored us to come to Bangalore and attend the hackathon.
Okay. So, for hackathon, you would have made any projects or something?
Yeah. So for the hackathon, like the company provided us with some APIs. They provided they divided us in the teams of two people, and they provided us with some APIs and told us to make a project. Like an application or a website based on the APIs. It you have to think of on the idea yourself based on the APIs. Like there were some APIs based on like one was the ACR, which is the automatic content recognition. So and there were some other APIs. So they were not like very tough. You just had to come up with the idea, and they also help you in brainstorming with those. So after like a few hours of brainstorming, you finally come up with the idea and then start with the implementation.
Okay. The journey is very good. Like, we all think of doing all this, but we don't get the kick. Hope you will help.
No, it's
What
just
type of
a
questions were
practice.
in? Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
What type of questions were there in the test?
Okay, so the coding test had questions on DSA. You can do it in whichever language you can prefer, like C++, Java, Python, mostly. I think these three are there for most of the tests. So it's better to work on these three. And in DSA, majorly, these questions were on graphs. So, and the test was of 2 hours. So, yeah, the initial questions were fine. Some of them were a bit like on a medium level, but yeah, so it was on graphs and DSA. So
Okay. Okay. So we have to do more practice on graphs, I think.
I think you have to do it equally on all the data structures. They are equally
Okay.
important in
Yeah.
every test.
Are there were any technical interviews
No,
or
just like
okay,
after the test, we got the mail for the hackathon.
okay. And any platforms that helped you prepare for the hackathon projects and the coding practice?
So for coding, like I uh, learned DSA on YouTube. Like there are channels of like there's Triver and then there's Apna College and stuff. So I watched their DSA playlists for learning, but for practicing, then I moved on. Initially, I used to give the Code Chef tests consistently. Like every week, I used to give at least one test on Code Chef. Then I solved questions from Lead Code also. Um, and one more I don't remember. So yeah, so I don't think the platform matters. It's just like you have to solve questions and first prepare, get the concepts by learning from wherever you want to. I think YouTube is better because like they teach you. You don't do not have to study on yourselves, and then you can like try questions from any of the platforms like according to your
Yeah.
levels.
Yeah, the main thing is to learn to apply them, right?
Yes.
The concepts. Okay, so are communication skills important for the internship point of view, and how did you tackle this issue?
Okay, so the first like aspect of my communication came when in the hackathon, like it was a 2 day hackathon. So on the second day, we had to present what we had made to the company's co-founders and the people there. So yeah, so I had to give a presentation. So there's where the communication comes in. So yeah, I think communication helps, like because how great you make the project, you should be able to explain what you did. So I don't think like without communication that can, but it's not like you have to be very, you just need to get how to like explain or convey what you have done to others.
And now, like you have started working there, so it also matters there as well, na? Your communication
Yes.
skills.
So yeah, so they assign me projects and I have to work on it. And but whenever like I have any doubts, because I don't know how an industry works, right? So there I have to appear them to ask doubts and stuff. And like if you appear more and more people, like you do not have to be an extrovert but not an introvert also, right? Because you have to talk to people, then only they know how much you know. So they'll know na, that I know stuff. And like if I don't talk to people, then nobody will know what I'm doing and if I can do that or not. So yeah, you have to communicate.
It matters. Yeah. So, is language a barrier there? Because I guess you are in Bangalore there, so
Yeah. So yeah, the locally the people speak obviously I think, but people know English also. And in the office, it isn't a barrier because in these kind of offices there are people from all over India, so everyone speaks English. And you get most of the times people who speak in Hindi also, so that's not at all a problem.
okay. I once heard somewhere that what we all learn in college and what we do in the job is very different. So, is it true?
Yeah, so it is very different, obviously, because like we make projects for the college as well, but they are obviously not on a large scale projects. Like you just make a small stuff which cannot be implemented on a bigger scale. So when you come in an industry and when you make things, so you know how to make things, but how to maintain it and how to like tackle it, that if there are many requests coming, how to handle your API or server. So and how things happen in a big company, that is like very difficult. But like it's not difficult, it's different, sorry. But yeah, you can get that by learning only by attending or an internship.
Yeah, they say, na, you work, you learn.
Yes.
Yes. And so, what were the most valuable lessons or skills you gained from the internship experience?
Okay, so yeah, for the internship, the thing which I learned is that only like I knew how to do backend, like I am a backend developer. So, but I did not know, like I created, like I said, you on a small stuff, like I can run a server on a local host, but I do not know how to, and I can also deploy it, but I do not know how to maintain it. So I got to know how a company or a large scale industry works, how people interact, and I got to learn new skills. It's just that I'm learning from the past 2 months. I am working, but I am learning more than I'm working. So yeah, I've learned new skills. So the ones which are like every company has a different tech stack. So when you go there, they tell you, so you can obviously learn that. But yeah, that's
Nice. And can you tell any memorable or challenging projects you worked on during the internship?
Okay, so yeah, I'm like working on a single project, but initially it was tough because I'm working on a new language, Go. So I used to work on Node, but here I had to shift to Go. So initially, learning that was fine, but when you have to implement it to create a server or an API, so that's where. Uh, then I did that as well, but the way like a project is created, you cannot put everything in a single file, right? So you have to place it in different folders and stuff that you do not understand very easily, like it's complicated. You need to get the flow of how a project is working. So initially it was difficult to grab hold of it, like how you have to manage the bigger code, like by dividing it into the small parts, not creating the whole code in the same place, because if you put it in the same place, then if one thing breaks, then your whole code will stop working. So yeah.
That's amazing. And what advice would you give to students who are aspiring to internet top companies like Amazon, Wow, and Flipkart, Grid? Like most of the internship applications have started this time, but we need a
Yes.
guide like how to go through it.
Okay, so like firstly, the first step is to obviously get to know that the applications are on. So for that, you need to be active on LinkedIn and Telegram. Like there's Arsh Goel, so you can follow him on Telegram. So he posts almost all of the hackathons and stuff, or the tests which are happened. So you get to know about those. Then go and see the previous year papers or the questions which are asked in the previous types. They help a lot. Like mine was the first time, like this hackathon was conducted for the first time last year, so I did not had that. But yeah, so like you can try the questions which are given by major companies in the past years, and like consistency is the only key. You have to I think you should give a little bit more attention to coding than web development initially, because the first step is coding. So you solve like uh, you have to keep it consistent, that I'm going to solve like one or two questions daily and then increase it. Yeah, the exam times you can leave it, but after that you have to like grab it again.
Yeah, we started, but the consistency doesn't.
That is the only key. Otherwise you will do a question, then you skip for a day, and the next day after that you won't remember
Yeah,
what you did. So you have, and
yeah. The
like
once
know
the
that
streak
what you're
breaks.
doing. Yes.
Um, looking back, what mistakes do you think aspiring students should not do? Like from your experience, what mistakes you did, but others should not do that.
Okay, so yeah, I did not started coding earlier because my first year went in the online mode, so I was struggling with the college studies only, so I did not get time to move into there. And my second year was also in COVID, only the exams were there. So I think that so I did not get the exposure like what you should do. So it's great that GFG is doing such a thing to, so that the students now get to know what they should do. So yes, you should start with the basics. Like there are I think different fields as well, but yeah, you should like I think in it's not that necessary in the first year. Like you can learn the basics and how to write things, but the concepts you started it late. I think everyone in my batch started it late because they did not knew what to do earlier. But yeah, you should like from second year you should start coding earlier. You will face problems like you don't want to do it. There's no consistency, but if you start from second year, then like till the half of second year and stuff, then you will be comfortable it, and it will be in your routine. So by the end of the second year, you will be good at it.
Yeah. Um, how do you manage the deadlines? Like हमसे तो कॉलेज की भी नहीं होती है.
Nice. So there are like my office is very chill in terms of deadlines. Like we do not have a lot of workload, so I don't have a lot of pressure here. But during the college, it is that like that for everybody. It's can't like I think we are engineers. We study a day before the exam. That's fine. That's not a problem. But I don't think like you get stuck at a time where you have to do much things, because the rest of the semester I know we have time. It's just that we don't want to or we can't. So it is easy. I don't think that that's a barrier in managing that.
Once we learn time management.
Yes.
So, what is the best thing you like about your company?
My company has a great work culture, and the working environment of my company is great. Like, there are, I think I've heard that the companies have their sign-in time, like when you started working and like leaving time. And so our company does not have that. You do not
Okay.
have to punch in or anything. You just go start working. So it's just about like they mean you get the work done. They will not like push you on a hard deadline and stuff. So, and the working culture is great. Like I, when I get stuck at any point of time, there are people around me who help me without anything. So yeah, so I think that is a great thing.
Okay, that's good. So, like, what subjects are important? Like, we study like 4, 5, 7 subjects every semester, and we only think the coding is important. Like, other
No.
subjects
So
like computer.
I used to think the same thing, that why do they teach such subjects? I don't think they're ever used. But when I came here, I get to know everything is used. So it is
Okay.
not like you have to be a great in every subject. You just need to know the knowledge. Like everything comes into use. Like now I'm getting the operating systems, like how you have to manage uh, the computer's memory and stuff to your how you have to divide it to that. Then computer network also comes in the way. Then DBMS, like database management. Obviously, when you run a company, you data is now a most important thing. So I don't remember the minute subjects, but yeah, these subjects we think so. You do not need to be like proficient, but you need to understand the subject and why they're teaching you. So I also used to think it's not, but it is like when you come here, you will get to know that it is applicable and important.
So, like, we have to study them as well.
Yes, you have to just understand like what is the reason they're teaching you. Not every
Yeah.
minute detail that you will get to learn eventually when you work.
Yeah. Okay. So, if you get a chance to go back to your first and second year, what would you change?
Yeah, that what I said, that I would have started coding a bit earlier, because initially it is tough, and if you start late, then that the tough part comes late. So by the time the applications arrive, so you do not have that much of practice to perform good.
Yeah. Is the CGPA important?
Uh, yes, the CGPA is important, but you do not just have to work on CGPA. Like, you maintain a good one. You can maintain. I think it is fairly easy in our college to maintain a one around 9. I think so. And if it's around 9.2, because I heard a scenario where one of the companies just took children above 9.2. So I
Yeah,
think
they
you
short.
should maintain. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they
So
shortlist. I have heard.
yes. So therefore, for that reason, but like not every company does that. But if you want to sit for the top companies, yes, you have to maintain your pointer. It does not have to be 10 and 9.9. You can by a normal effort, like some effort, obviously, you can maintain a good one around 9 point. I think around 9.2, because mine is 9.2, so therefore I'm saying that. So you can maintain that, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like we don't understand what the teacher is explaining there. So we prefer YouTube. So what are some of the good YouTube channels you will suggest to us?
Okay, so the the Gate Smashers is one of the YouTube
Yeah.
channels which matches with every syllabus of ours. So I think that's the one where you can get all of the things. And for design and analysis of algorithm, we have another one. I think when you search like for those tutorials, you get the first one. So that is the correct one. For the most of them, yes, Gate Smashers is there, and like for
Yeah.
some. I don't remember the name, but it's the first video when you search for any of the things for design for data structures also, and so that is also a good one.
Okay. So
And for but like for the college studies, Gate Smashers is good, but for data structures and stuff, you can watch Strivers or Apna College playlists. They are also pretty good.
and what are the skills you are needed while in working? Like what are the languages and
So I think every company like has works on different languages. Mine works with earlier they used to work with Node, but now they're shifting some of their applications to Golang because it is more scalable. So mine works with Golang and TypeScript majorly, but it does not have a backend part. So yeah, like it has data apart from that. So it uses SQL as well. Yes, and I've heard, yeah, then companies use Java. Um, I know these much, but I think yes, a C++ and Python. So these are the major ones. And for yes,
s-
for the development, Node is preferred in most of the companies, or Django. I think both. It depends on the company.
so we aren't taught the WebD so much in detail in college. So you did any course or
Yes.
preferred the
Like before going to the hackathon, I learned backend from online, like from normal YouTube channels. But then after coming back, I had interest in backend, so I joined a backend course with it's Hitesh Chaudhary's backend course. It's you can search his platform is I don't remember the name, but it's Hitesh Chaudhary. He has a platform. So on that, I purchased this course for the backend. It is in Node.js. So you do not necessarily have to do that. You can get many videos on YouTube only, I think. But I had interest, so I joined that.
Okay, so like some people say that we have to collect as many certifications as we can. So does it matter?
No, I don't think that certifications. The major ones matter, like if you've certified an AWS and that, but not. I don't think the Coursera and the whatever those smaller courses. There nobody looks at the
The
certifications. They look at what you know, and they know that the certifications can be get easily. So those ones don't matter. Yes, the good ones do matter, like AWS. I said.
Yeah, and what are your day-to-day tasks at the company?
Okay, so my tasks for the day are it is not like day to day. It's more, I think it's a weekly one. So they give me a task and there are subtasks in it. Like on one day I create the design document. Like for that I have to brainstorm like which route I have to use, what will be my requests and responses which I'll get from the API. So I do that on one day. Then the next day I write a rough outline code for that, and then the next day I put that code into the smaller files and handlers and interfaces. So yeah, eventually I do a step by step day. It's not a solid deadline that you can't do in a day.
Okay. So are you enjoying the work?
Yes, I am.
Or you think the college was better? I miss college life, something like that.
No, the I miss college not in terms of studies, obviously in terms of friends, but yes, the as I said, my company's work culture is great and the environment is great. I don't think hardly there are like because it is a small company, therefore the it's great as well. like it's a startup, so it has less number of people, but the work is surprisingly good. Like I am happy with what I do, and it's yeah, obviously you feel that you're working, you want to do, like you don't want to work. It's the same as study, like you're studying, you don't want to study, but it is great. I'm enjoying it.
Okay, that's amazing. Any advice you would give to your juniors, like first years and second years?
Okay, so I think consistency is the only key, but and I think like in our college, people are moving into web dev without getting into coding. I've seen many people when I was taking the interviews, like everybody, majorly people knew web development, but they did not know coding. So you cannot enter a company according to me without that, because the initial test is the coding one. So then they start coding at a later level. So I think that you can start coding initially. You will find it difficult and not want to do it, but that is the key if you want to get into such companies. So, and then you can obviously move into web development, but only doing web development and not focusing on coding is something you can't do with, like, if you want to get into internships. So first you should do coding, and then you can slowly move to web dev.
So we can do this like now 3 days for coding and 3 days for WebD, and I
No,
can.
the coding has to be consistent. Like I told you, you will do it for 3 days and then you'll forget it the next week. So do one question like not 10 questions. Do a single question initially, but do it every day and make notes, because like the question which you did, what you did not understand, then write that, because the next time you do the same question, you should know how to do it. You cannot forget that question a week later. And
Yeah,
I'm not saying do it for 2 3 hours. Do a single question, 2 questions, increase the frequency. And WebD you can do on weekends and stuff. It is not that difficult. Web Actually, the problem is people do web development because you just have to understand. Then you get everything what you want on the web. You just have to
yeah.
see that and write. But in coding, you have to think about how to solve the question. So that is a bit difficult. So you have to practice on that more.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. We think our code is right, but it do not pass the test cases. Do you have any idea how to deal
So
with it?
it can be it can be a minute bug if like it is mostly visible in an editor, but it's not. Then it can be a minute bug. Or then what we can do is print the outputs which we are getting at every step. So by printing the output at every step, you can analyze that till where did you solve it correct, and at which step you did wrong. So that then you can get it and change your approach to the question.
Okay. Thank you. You have really inspired us all so much. And
I'm
thank you,
glad.
Didi. Thank you for gracing us with your insights and expertise on Geek Talks. It was really great talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And best of luck for your future.
Thank you. All the best to you too.
Yeah.